Alright guys, this is a net worth update video. These are really dry videos. I'm already kind of a dry speaker, super monotone guy. If investing and building net worth is exciting for you, maybe that'll be enough to watch the whole video. If not, that's totally cool. I just do these videos for not only myself, but to stay true to my promise of complete transparency, which will continue to be my promise no matter where this channel or my finances go. Things happen in life. I think it's better to just be open about it. So yeah, let's just jump in. This is the home page of the spreadsheet. I made the spreadsheet myself. If you guys want to download this, I can throw it in the Discord. The Discord is completely free to join, so just click that link and you can get in there for free. We are doing a giveaway at 50 members. Now, continuing on to the video here. So this is the home page. I got total investments, total cash from the investment accounts, and that's all totaled there. And then family cash, family debts, assets, total family. Now, this is just the home page, creates all the totals so I can see everything at a glance, how everything's doing. All my investments, $4,876. This is excluding my house. And then this is the total family, which means credit cards, car payments, all that stuff in there, including the house. And then there's my net worth. Now, my net worth is only $4,948, which may not sound like a lot, but in today's day and age where everybody uses debt to obtain literally anything, having a positive number is a super positive thing. And maybe you don't see that as a big deal, but to me, it's an extremely big deal. I left my parents' house with nothing but a backpack, and I know what it's like to not eat. So seeing this number makes me feel really good and accomplished. And I know this is just the beginning. Looking back in the beginning of this year, we were negative $30,000. And this is just when I started tracking this. It's very eye-opening to see how quickly this number has increased. And it's kind of painting the picture of the possibilities that basically anybody can have. So this is the next page of the spreadsheet. Basically, it just breaks down all of my cash accounts. Checking account, bills account, Amanda's fun money. I just changed this car brakes, but it was her hair fund to get her hair done. And everybody should have an emergency fund. And this is a savings account I have it labeled savings kids, but we aren't doing anything with it right now because the main focus is to start paying off my debt. So obviously cash accounts change week after week as bills come in, groceries got to get bought, all that stuff. But I do keep it in here to keep an eye on that, and it is part of net worth. Now moving on to the debts and assets page. So this is the biggest and most important thing in order to build net worth, especially if you have a lot of debt. You got to pay that down, and I am doing that week after week with my credit card here. We've already paid off phones that we're paying monthly bills on, which is the dumbest thing ever. So we paid those off. We paid off some of her credit cards. Her Buy Power credit card is paid. She had a Chase card with a balance on it. We took care of that. Basically, I'm using the Dave Ramsey method to pay off my debt, paying off the smaller ones first to get that emotional upcharge you get, and to focus and double down on the larger debts. So the payments I had on these, now I have that extra money to help pay down the larger debts, and that's kind of what creates the snowball effect. So right now the focus is this huge credit card here. Why is the balance so high on this? Basically, my life isn't perfect, just like anybody else's. You know, I lost my job, went from making $80,000 a year to like 40, which when you inflate your lifestyle, that really screws you over. So I was paying bills with my credit card, buying groceries. That was the option I had. Didn't find a job quick enough to be able to stop that, and this baby got maxed out at $15,000. So that's the backstory on that. My life is stable now, our income's stable, and we have a plan, and as you can see, it is decreasing over time. This line of credit I'm using to pay off this high interest credit card. Basically, the interest rate on this is 10%. The interest rate on this is a variable interest rate. So I like to go with the more consistent one. It's stable, and I'm using this. The max on this is about $3,000. So as you can see here, I paid it down and then I did another chunk payment on the credit card. I'm going to continue to be doing that until this is completely paid off. I did just call my bank to see if they would increase the limit on this line of credit, since my credit score has increased by, I think, like 60 points since I started paying this off. They said yes, they can bring it up to $5,000. They're going to see if they can do more. They just have to talk to a senior lender basically to get that approved. Basically, that line of credit can go up to $15,000. I don't think they're going to give me that since it is with the same bank. We'll see what happens, but just being transparent, this line of credit amount might go up. If it does, basically I'm just going to use more of it to get the action in on this credit card. My Tahoe, I haven't had to make a payment on due to the virus. They've forgiven that, so I've been leveraging my money, not paying that $500 car payment, and also trying to chip away at my debts here and catching up on some other personal things. My Tahoe value, basically this is just a Kelley Blue Book estimate, so probably time to update that. We know that's going to decrease because cars depreciate, obviously. Now, our house is just a townhouse, not a big deal by any means, but we got in at $222,000, and this thing has already appreciated to roughly $237,000. I should probably check this again. It's probably about the same, but basically we bought a house in a developing area, and this whole area is booming. They're building more and more houses just across the street, so that is kind of why the values jumped up. Our realtor, we just really listened to them, and they pretty much said that was going to happen. So this has already become a asset. If we sold right now, we would profit on this house, and we haven't even been here a year. So it's really cool to see that. So this is the investments tab, probably the most fun one in my opinion, but as you guys know, you should obviously pay off your debt before you start investing. That's the general mathematical conclusion on the right way to invest. But like I said previously, I invest for fun. I don't really spend my money on anything anymore. I used to, but this is what I do for fun now. I have all these investing accounts, and we're adding more and more to it. Once I get my debt paid off, we're going to be trying to do more real estate. So yeah, end rant there. Now, if you guys have been following, you know I just started an M1 Roth IRA. This tab was a certificate of deposit, which pretty much yielded nothing. So I just changed the title here, and the M1 Roth now has the $500 that was in the certificate of deposit. Now, my M1 Finance portfolio is a monthly only dividend portfolio. You guys know that's kind of a side project experiment. We're not funneling a ton of money to that portfolio, but it is a fun thing to keep track of, and it is already starting to pay dividends. Now, Fundrise is my crowdfunded real estate application choice. There's a ton out there. This one doesn't yield a ton of money either. It's just another account that is slowly growing over time. So maybe 10, 20 years, this will amount to something. But as you can see, this thing is hardly growing. I throw in $100 every single month, and that's it. It would probably be less than that, but that is their minimum requirement. And finally, the Robinhood account, which is kind of the centerfold of my channel. You guys know I put in $125 every single week. This is a monthly dividend growth portfolio. This thing will continue growing more and more over time. I'd like to see this hit $10,000, $100,000, maybe even $1 million someday. We'll see, but that's kind of a huge stretch. And on top of that, I probably won't even be in Robinhood if we get to an account that size. So these accounts here are banking accounts that I do have. I just use them for basically funneling money. My direct deposit comes directly into this account for investments. I did that through my payroll provider at work because it was an option. That way, that money is always used for investing and not mixed in with the other ones. It's a lot better for us to do this because we have a hard time holding on to money in our checking account. So if it's out of that spending account and moved into a separate account, then we don't spend it and we use it for the right purpose, which is investing in this case. So that's kind of why we do that, and it just helps keep me organized. And the last thing really is I added Patreon in here. I get a little tiny bit of income from that, but it does need to be included. So I added that in, basically removed PayPal. I'm not using PayPal for anything anymore. If I start to use it again, I will add it in here. But since I haven't used it pretty much at all this year, I just relabeled that Patreon. So that is now in here. So as you can see, investments 4,876, which was what we had on the homepage. Everything in this pretty much auto calculates, so that is the nice thing about this. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm going to drop this spreadsheet in the Discord, so if you want to download it and take a look at it, you definitely can. I know on a mobile YouTube app you probably can't even read this thing, so that option is there if you want to zoom in and look at the numbers yourself. But that pretty much wraps up the net worth update. Basically, I've increased my net worth by over $30,000 by leveraging my money and paying off debt. And on top of that, having a good pick in real estate. Obviously, that one, I mean, we didn't know how much it was going to increase, so that wasn't something we could entirely plan. But arguably the bigger moving force of all this is paying off debt. You can't see the results of that as much right now, but once all my debt is paid off and I have an extra several $1,000s a month that I am not wasting on debt and payments every month, I can use that to invest and grow my money quicker. So that wraps it up for this video. If you guys watched the whole thing, I give you a thumbs up. If you want to give me a thumbs up for the transparency, I really appreciate that. And if you aren't subbed to the channel, definitely subscribe so you can see maybe how one other person in the entirety of the world does with their finances over time. I'm going to keep doing these uploads even if this YouTube channel never makes money. This is just kind of a fun side project for me. So yeah, you can take that however you want. I will see you in the next upload.